Mars is a better candidate for life during the early part of the solar system. Mars rocks are coming here all the time, and these have been knocked off Mars by asteroid and comet impacts. And we know that they could convey any Martian microorganisms to Earth.
In August 1996, a team of scientists made a stunning announcement. A Martian meteorite found in Antarctica contained evidence of fossilized life. The 4-pound rock, designated ALH 84001, showed the presence of carbonate globules excreted by microbes when they were alive on Mars 3.6 billion years ago. Earth was no longer alone. Life had existed elsewhere in the universe.
So this cross-contamination between Mars and Earth, which 20 years ago was regarded as a rather wild conjecture, is now pretty much accepted by the astrobiology community.
Astrobiologists studying the origin and evolution of life in the universe embraced the possibility that life on Earth began in outer space. Did modern-day scientists finally prove what ancient cultures have believed for centuries?
The common myth or idea that the origins of humankind is from the stars is widespread. Ancient cultures had the ancient Egyptians, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Indians, and so forth, is intriguing, and it's probably true. And I mean it from an astrophysical point of view. We do come from the stars. It's a fact that life on Earth has been seeded by the coming of a comet containing the life matter.
Searching for clues is incredibly difficult. Fortunately, sometimes the clues come to us. In 1969, a 220-pound meteorite crashed into Murchison, Australia. The Murchison meteorite was more than just a piece of rock floating through space. It was a doorway to alien life. A piece of the meteorite is kept here at the California Academy of Sciences.
And the reason this is so exciting to scientists is that it's as old as the solar system, and yet we found that it contains the building blocks of life, things like amino acids and other sorts of chemicals that we use to make our own bodies and all life on Earth. So what it shows is that these building blocks were around in our solar system before life arose on the Earth.
Life may have come to Earth in a meteorite like this. And life similar to ours may be spread through the universe in the same way, as meteorites act like seeds, raining down the ingredients for life on fertile planets.
In 2006, genetic researchers at the University of California at Santa Cruz discovered an area of the genome they called HAR1 that appears to be unique to humans. Scientists believe the HAR1 gene plays a critical role in the advanced development of the human brain and is a key element that sets us apart from other animals. But where did it come from? Did humans develop this distinct gene naturally through evolution? Or did it land here from another planet? Francis Crick, the British scientist who helped discover the structure of DNA, believed that human genes could not have evolved by chance.
Crick didn't feel in that period of roughly 600 million years from the formation of the planet down to the time when the planet could first support life, there was enough time for DNA to evolve by accident. It's an enormously complicated molecule. Crick gave this analogy. You would be more likely to assemble a fully functioning and flying jumbo jet by passing a hurricane through a junkyard than you would be to assemble the DNA molecule by chance in any kind of primeval soup in 500 or 600 million years. It's just not possible.
Perhaps further evidence can be found in the archaeological remnants and eyewitness accounts from man's earliest known civilization. Northern Iraq. Along the east bank of the Tigris River, opposite the city of Mosul, lie the ruins of the ancient city of Nineveh, a place originally inhabited by the Sumerians of Mesopotamia. Here, in 1842, British archaeologist Austen Henry Layard unearthed the ruins of the Great Library of Ashurbanipal, a royal archive containing thousands of clay tablets with cuneiform inscriptions. Dating to 3000 BC, the messages carved into stone are considered to be the world's first written accounts.
Sumerian tablets are probably one of the oldest form of a written record that we have. They've been translated, and they tell exciting stories about how gods intermingled with human beings and actually had a hand in the creation of human beings. Whether or not it's just mythology or if it's fact, no one really knows.
According to interpretations of the Sumerian tablets, the gods were called the Anunnaki.
What we're looking at here is a Sumerian tablet that actually shows the Tree of Life, flanked by divine beings. You can see here the Anunnaki on each side. We also see the winged disc, a symbolic reference that the Anunnaki had the power of flight. They actually had necklaces with astronomical references, a moon, a star, various symbols, which even could be symbolized as a wristwatch. Technology being used 6,000 years ago.
The written accounts etched into stone suggest the Anunnaki were giant beings, standing 8 feet tall, who came to Earth in search of gold for their home planet.
When the Sumerian gods, the Anunnaki, realized the toll it was taking to mine the gold themselves, they decided to fashion a worker being, a slave to mine the gold for them. And they explain in the Sumerian creation tales that this was an arduous process. So it's very possible that our genetic evolution was a process done by the Anunnaki to create us in their image and after their likeness.
They created man according to the Sumerian text. They created Adam and Eve. How interesting that the Bible will echo the story, but talk about it in terms of God.
It's almost like these highly advanced creatures were acting as teachers. And certainly Sumerian culture and mythology is full of stories of, receiving visitations from these mysterious higher entities that, bestowed wisdom and fantastic ideas and concepts. And, you have to wonder, is this just down to myth, or was somebody coming down and really trying to give us a push, if you like?
4,000 miles west of China, another tale of celestial beings influencing civilization can be found, this time in what is now modern-day Iraq. The Babylonian legend of Enuma Elish dates back to the 7th century BC. The text was first discovered in 1849 by British archaeologist Sir Austen Henry Layard while searching the ruins of the library of Ashurbanipal in Nineveh. The story tells of how the first humans were created by an extraterrestrial race known as the Anunnaki.
In the ancient texts of Sumeria, we have descriptions of these beings descending from the sky called the Anunnaki. The term Anunnaki means those who from the heavens came. It says, word for word, that these beings descended in flying vehicles from the sky. And we can find not only descriptions of the Anunnaki, but also depictions. And we can see them in statues, in carvings. So it's all very interesting to see that those beings looked like modern-day space travelers with weird suits. Some of them wore wristwatches, they had boots on and helmets, and above all, wings, and they were always described or depicted in floating above some quote-unquote regular people. So the question is, who were the Anunnaki? And according to the ancient astronaut hypothesis, they were space travelers who visited Earth in the remote past.
Perhaps clues may be found among ancient Mesopotamian artifacts. The National Museum of Iraq. In 1938, the museum director discovers terracotta pots and copper cylinders in the archives that may have been used as galvanic cells. The nearly 2,000-year-old devices, called Baghdad batteries, are believed to predate the invention of the cell battery by more than 1,000 years. Archaeologists speculate they may have been used to electroplate gold onto silver for decorative jewelry.
The Baghdad battery that we've currently found in Iraq, about a dozen of them, it can generate around 4 volts. Now, a current modern-day flashlight could be run by a 9-volt battery. So if we think of a Baghdad battery around this size generating 4 volts, what if we increase the size to around 6 feet? That might generate 20, 30, 50 volts and have the sufficient power to actually utilize energy in a way that we do today.
Mainstream scientists agree that the Baghdad battery is evidence ancient man had the means to create power and the understanding of how to apply it. But is there proof of even more complex devices that may have run on electricity? Engineer Chris Dunn believes the answer can be found by further examination of the shafts in what some call the Queen's Chamber, where traces of zinc and hydrochloric acid have been discovered.
I believe the chemical coming in through the northern shaft was hydrated zinc, and the other chemical coming through the southern shaft and into the chamber was dilute hydrochloric acid. These are actually seen on the chamber walls.
Dunn suggests that the two chemicals were poured down through the shafts and then mixed together inside the Queen's Chamber, triggering combustion.
Well, this vessel represents the Queen's Chamber. Into the tubes, we're going to pour hydrated zinc and then hydrochloric acid. When you bring these two liquids together, and a chemical reaction occurs, and a product of that chemical reaction is hydrogen. And you can see the vapor, the hydrogen, escaping through the chimney. And there you have the reaction.
Dunn speculates that the hydrogen gas traveled from the Queen's Chamber into the King's Chamber. Then, the vibrations from the subterranean pool energized the hydrogen atoms into a microwave energy beam.
The evidence that indicates the use of hydrogen can be found in the King's Chamber. There is a shaft in the King's Chamber has dimensions of 8.4 by 4.8, which would be suitable for a waveguide for a maser, or microwave amplification through stimulated emission radiation. And from there, we can actually propose many different ideas of what they did with it.
Might the Great Pyramid of Giza actually have created power in the remote past? And is it possible that energy ran the advanced tools of early builders?